Welcome to Talk Across America. I'm Doug Miles, and we're here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. Joining us now on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a man who's written another one of his really interesting and very popular novels, crime novels, featuring two very favorite characters, Elvis Cole and Joe Pike. This one's called A Dangerous Man, and we're joined today by New York Times bestselling author Robert Crais. I believe he's out in L.A. today, right, Robert?
I am, sitting here at the office high above the city of Los Angeles, Doug. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at your schedule here. You're going to be doing a lot of traveling in the next few weeks, so I guess that's part of the job of an author.
I'm not picking up any moss. I'm on book tour to promote a Dangerous Man. I'll be going coast to coast. But it's going to be a blast. I love meeting readers and signing copies of the books.
I was going to ask you, I talked to a lot of novelists. Do you enjoy that part of the job? It is part of the job, right? After a while, you have to go out and promote it. Do you enjoy going out and traveling? I guess you sort of already answered that.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I tell you what I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy the airports, with security and with all the time it takes to the airports. But once I'm in the different cities and the different bookstores, I enjoy it a lot. I love to meet fans and readers. Yeah, I'm a book person too. If I wasn't the writer who was on tour and going to bookstores, I'd be the reader who was going to bookstores. I'd be in bookstores anyway because I'm a book guy. But I love it. It's always a lot of fun for me, and it really energizes me and gives me a nice send off into writing next year's book.
And you have a lot of people that read novels like yours that get involved with the characters. They love coming out and meeting the people that write the books. So it makes it a fun event.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that way. The characters are Elvis Cole and Joe Pike are really popular. I've gotten a lot of readers. They invest themselves in the characters, and that makes it all the more gratifying for me that I've written something that touches people's lives this way. What could be better than that? It's a gift.
Well, just for the few people that aren't aware or maybe haven't read one of the Elvis Cole, Joe Pike books before, give a quick background of that, and then we'll get into the plot of the book a little bit.
Elvis Cole is a private eye in Los Angeles. He's an outsider who has his own little independent detective agency, and he seems driven to help people in need. He has a partner named Joe Pike. And where Elvis is personable and funny and talkative, Joe Pike is just the opposite. He's a quiet guy, doesn't say very much, and he doesn't express his emotions at all. But that makes them a great duo, and it's given me 18 novels now to watch them helping out people who need help, and they're good at it.
I was going to say, number 18, 18th installment, A Dangerous Man is, and it's kind of interesting. I know I should mention to the audience, you've written for television. They've seen you work on a lot of the shows on TV over the years. Is it a similar type of writing when you write for two characters that are a team like that, or is it different when you write it as a novel?
Well, it's the same but radically different. I mean, I was a baby writer when I got involved in television. This is before I started writing books, and
right.
I was a young kid, came out to Los Angeles, broke into TV, wrote for amazing shows like Hill Street Blues and Cagney and Lacey and Miami Vice. And to me, those TV years was writing school. I didn't go to college to learn how to be a writer. Television was my writing school, and I think it was an education that you simply couldn't buy for millions of dollars. And all the lessons I learned there on those shows about characterization and dialogue and plotting and editing, I think I brought to writing novels. And maybe, I know I'm a visual writer, and I think maybe that's what helped along the way to lead to the success the books have had. So, yeah, of course it's had an impact on what I write as novels.
The difference is, the TV script, you got to do those fast. A novel, you get a little more time, right?
Well, yeah, that, and also television is collaborative. There's always a writer's room, other writers, producers, working with the actors. All that stuff was fun. But, the books are very personal. It's just me and the book. There's only one other collaborator I have, and that's the reader. because the book doesn't really come to life until someone reads it.
Right.
But I prefer that. I love the fact that the reader and I, together, we create what ends up in the reader's head when he or she reads one of the books. We create our little Elvis Cole, Joe Pike movies just between us. And I find that wonderful. I find that's the magic of books to me. That's why I love to write books and to read books.
Yeah, you set it up, and then the reader, in his own mind, fills in the rest sometimes. So that makes sense.
And because I like to do thrillers, because I'm a thriller guy, when I hear feedback from readers that they couldn't stop turning pages, or that they're so invested in Joe Pike or Elvis Cole or the stories at hand, that I mean, I'm not a moron. That means I must be doing something right, and I really enjoy that aspect.
Well, again, I don't like to give away too much, but set up the plot, if you will. I know Joe Pike goes into a bank and he helps the teller, and then you take it from there. That's when it begins.
Most of my books, Elvis Cole's the main character, but not this book. This book, I wanted Joe Pike to be the main character, and the reason is because I think there are big holes in Joe's life that he regrets and from choices that he's made in the past. I mean, he has no one in his life. He's not married. He has no family. And I think part of him wishes that he did. So one day he goes to the bank, just as like you or I would go to the bank, and nothing special about it. He makes a deposit. He leaves. On this particular day, he's getting into his car when he notices the bank teller, Isabel Rollin, a young girl, innocent. She steps out of the bank, and he sees two hard guys grab her, abduct her, drive away. Well, Joe is not your average bystander. And being Joe, he inserts himself into the situation. He takes care of it, saves her. Those two guys are arrested. That should be the end of it. But it isn't, because 2 days later, when those guys make bail and they're released, they're murdered. And Isabel disappears again. Now, Joe, who's already invested in Isabel, he saved her once, the job's not finished. He figures she needs to be saved again, and that gives us the rest of the story. It takes place within 24 hours, and it's a nonstop thriller as Joe tries to uncover who these people are, why they want Isabel, and where she is.
Yeah, great premise for that type of thrilling plot. A lot of plot twist turns. When you plot out your books, and you've done 18 of these now, how do you work? Do you write out your outline in several pages?
I am an outliner.
You're an outliner guy? Yeah.
I'm an outliner, yeah. That comes from my TV days. When you're writing television or movies, you have to figure it out in advance. You have to plot it out before you write the teleplay or the screenplay. And that's how I approach my books. And in this case, the whole impetus of it came with this image of Isabel Rollin, this innocent young woman who's surrounded by dangerous people, and she's screaming, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anything about this. I didn't know anything else about the story or Isabel or what happens other than that moment. But I believed her, and I saw the truth in her eyes. She didn't know what was happening. And that led me to think that Joe Pike would be the perfect guy to try to rescue her and save her. And everything that happens in the book after that derives from that one image. And I figured it out, plotted it out, began to write the book, and here we are all those months later with my 22nd novel.
It's interesting. I had a woman on the other day who writes crime novels, and she goes the other way. I asked her the same question. She doesn't do that. She just kind of starts to, she has her characters in mind, but she kind of goes by, as it goes along, she takes it wherever it goes. So there's two ways you can do it, I guess.
There's as many ways to do it as there are writers. Everybody has their own personal, unique approach.
Yeah.
I can't do it that way. I tried that twice before I published the first novel I published was not the first book I wrote. I wrote 2 manuscripts prior to that, and they were awful. And one of the big reasons they were awful was because I didn't try to plot them out in advance.
Right.
I tried to go the other way. It did not work for me. So I went back to what I know, which is how I did it in television, and that works for me. and I've got 22 novels to show for it. So,
you're doing it right.
I'm doing it right for me, I can tell you that.
A Dangerous Man is the name of the book, and Elvis Cole and Joe Pike now. We've been talking with Robert Crais today. And Robert, give out your website or contact information, and people get more information about the book.
Sure. If people want more info about A Dangerous Man or me, my website, which is my name, Robert Crais, CRAIS.com. I'm also on Facebook at The Real Robert Crais, and on Instagram at Robert Crais. So they can find out everything they need to know there, and also see some nifty photographs I took.
Great. Robert, real pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll do it again. I'm sure you got another book in the works, so we'll look for it next year sometime. But good luck with this one, and we'll talk to you again.
Appreciate it, Doug. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on Talk Across America. Please visit our website at dougmilesmedia.com for more great interviews and content. And if you're interested in any of the books we talk about on the program, please click the Amazon link on our website. It helps support the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again real soon here from beautiful Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.